Ahead and call this meeting to order. This is our normal Board of Education regular meeting for Monday, October 23rd, 2023. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have some special guests that are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance from the middle school. Mr. Bourne, would you like to introduce your friends?
Yeah, we have Arlie Barheit here, 6th grader, Peyton Lambart, who's a 7th grader, and Landon Wagner, an 8th grader. They represent the middle school.
All right. Would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First is our approval of the agenda. I have no additions or corrections.
Motion to approve?
Support. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, moving on to our consent agenda. Our consent agenda consists of the minutes of our September 25th, 2023 board meeting, our October 9th, 2023 work session, and the payment of our invoices. Does anyone have a request for anything to be removed from the consent agenda and to be voted on separately? Or do I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Support.
Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes. Moving on to educational highlights. I will turn this over to the middle school and Mr. Joshua Bourne.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So with us, as I mentioned, we have 3 students representing the middle school, Landon Wagner here, 8th grade, Peyton Lambart, and Arlie Barheit. And with us are our physical education teachers, not gym teachers. It's physical education, Mr. John Pryor and Mrs. Nicole Cartoni. So about 12 years ago or so, the high school was able to update heart rate monitors, and middle school, we kind of just stayed patient and waited our turn. And last year, the district was able to help us invest curricularly into new heart rate monitors, wrist watches for those. So we rolled them out last year. We're able to use them all last year, and of course are using them again this year. Like all technology, it doesn't come without sometimes some bumps in the road as we're figuring it out. But the lessons that the kids get from it is lifelong, right? So I'm going to turn it over to our physical education teachers, and that's their presentation tonight.
We would just like to thank all of our administrators and the board for always approving heart rate monitors. And my 21 years being here, we have used heart rate monitors. I don't really think there's too many schools around the area that have invested in physical education the way we have here at Edwardsburg. And the watches that we used to have were so old, and there were watches. And then we had these chest straps right here. And if you've had a middle schooler, you know what I'm talking about. We would have these, and the kids would wear these, and they'd wash them with soap and water, just like you wash your hands every day. And we hang them on a drying rack. And then the next hour comes, and they get to take it off the drying rack and put this thing on and work really hard. Sounds fun, right? So we went to Mr. Bourne and we said, hey, there's these watches. You know, everyone's got a smartwatch. Wouldn't this be cool if they could see their heart rate? If they went past 200 meters, they could still see their heart rate and get credit. He's like, yeah, that's awesome. And he's like, well, how much does that cost? And he kind of chuckles. He's like, we'll see what we can do. And, you know, with him pushing and the support of, you know, just the school and the school board, we were able to get these amazing heart rate monitors and just change the way that, you know, physical education is looked on and how our kids just go to the next level when they are wearing these. Mr. Pryor?
Yeah, the heart rate monitors are great. It's a great way for us to measure kids' fitness level. When you walk into our classroom and you see them with their heart rate monitors on, a lot of kids are just drenched in sweat. And that's really the key is to get movement in class. It's a great measuring tool for us. What I like even better about it is it gives instant feedback. They can look up on the board and they can see where they're at, how many minutes they're in their zone, how hard they're working. We set goals for them each and every day, and it's fun because it's a competitive thing. I know a lot of them compete to see how many minutes they can be in their zone, but it's just constant movement in our classroom, and it's just a great tool for us to objectively grade students throughout the hour.
So we're going to play a quick video. Sorry about the quality. We had to do some adjustments, but this is kind of what it looks like if you were to walk into our class, and we brought like 3 very exceptional kids to just briefly talk about what it's like for them. Doesn't matter how athletic they are, every person in the gym is moving. That's what he's talking about when he says the board. They can see that. One of above green.
And what's great about the heart rate monitors is it's an interactive screen, so they can come up to the iPad, they can swipe it, they can tap on their name, and they can see all the results, and they can see it tracking them throughout the hour. So the kids really enjoy doing that as well.
Okay. Peyton is going to come on up here. Like I said, if you walk into our class, if you walk into PE, this kid is red, is drenched in sweat. And there's days where I have to say, Peyton, take it easy, buddy.
He's one of our competitors. All right. He gets in there. He doesn't want me to start it until he's dressed and ready to go because he wants to be the #1 leader on the board.
I really like the heart rate monitors because unlike the chest strap, you're able to see how good you're doing from anywhere, and you don't have to go all the way to the board. And I feel like that the better you do with heart rate monitors, the more you can push yourself, and you just do better every time you enter that gym class, and you keep pushing yourself, and eventually, instead of saying, ugh, we have heart rate monitors, you're like, yes, finally. So, and I feel like the chest straps, they were just, everybody in my class uses them, and I'm the odd one out. I use the watch. People tell me why you use the watch instead of the chest strap. I talked to my friend today. He said he was having trouble with the chest straps. And I feel like that when I use the watch, I do a lot better because the watch is harder, which makes me push myself. So I go beyond my limits every day.
Awesome.
Harley, come on up.
I love when we do heart rate monitors because it pushes me to get my heart rate goal, which is 20 minutes, and it gives me a great workout. The watch sets everyone at their own personal goal, so you can get a great workout for you. The heart rate watch pushes you to your hardest, so you can have a productive gym class. I look forward to heart rate monitors all week because it gives me time to walk, run, play basketball, volleyball, lift weights, etc. While we do heart rate monitors, I see people working hard and still having loads of fun. Everyone gets a great workout and gets to push themselves harder than any other gym class.
I think the heart rate monitors are awesome because every time I put it on, I always go for my top goal every time. And it gets awesome workout. And why I'm trying so hard is 1, I'm competitive, and 2, trying to get all my grades up so I could play basketball this year.
I've seen a real change in him this year, and I see him motivated at the next level every time he wears a heart rate monitor. So he's not quite expressing all that, but if you could see this guy in class, you would be blown away from last year to this year. So these 3 are exceptional. They took courage to stand up. here in front of you. We came to them, we asked them, hey, will you come and talk to the Board of Education? And they're like, yes, I will. And I mean, I was like, I don't know, Mr. Bourne, do we have to? And they stepped up and they did they're fantastic. And thank you for being a testament to how great these are. So great job, B3.
Thank you for being here with us tonight. Moving on to recognition of the district principals.
Yeah, so October is Principals Month, and we have some awesome principals here that I'm going to make stand up, to embarrass them, that we can all say thank you. So we have Mr. Markle at the high school, along with Mike Dandrin at the high school. And it's not technically Assistant Principal Month. There is a specific week in the spring, but here, since they do operate as such a team at both the high school and middle school, I figured everyone should be recognized. So at the middle school, Mr. Bourne and Mr. Zebra. And at the ALC, Mr. Clements, who isn't here tonight. And he deserves a round of applause. And then at the intermediate, we have Mr. Jordan. At Eagle Lake, we have Mrs. Beecraft. And then at the primary, we have Mrs. Spalding. And this group wears so many different hats on any given day. Sometimes they're working also as, assistant to our school nurse. Mrs. Spalding is occasionally operating as an unlicensed dentist at the primary.
Yes, she is.
Although she gets great reviews. But I just want to say thank you, because coming in as a new superintendent, they have made my job so easy, because they do an amazing job at their buildings, and I could not do this job without that team of individuals. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you.
Yes, thank you very much for all you do for our students and our staff. It's very much appreciated. Moving on to superintendent's report.
So it's me again.
It's you again.
Okay, so we had two
The multi-age classes, the first grade group came to visit the administration building last week. It was so much fun to have them here. And Kim Stack showed them around, and you heard oohs and ahs coming from the mail room in particular with the mail machine. That was a big hit. And then also the chairs that you're getting to sit in right now were a huge hit. So I will send around the illustrations of the chairs that they all took a turn sitting in are wonderful, but they asked great questions. A certain board member's son got to sit in his dad's chair, which was really cool, and he was very excited about. And he got to point out, to his class, that was his dad on the wall outside. So it was cool having Leo here. But that was fun. Just they came for community helpers to see what everyone here did, and got a tour of the office, and they had some really great questions that they got to ask as well. Then last week was also really a great day. On Thursday, I was at the choir concert, which was beautiful for high school. They put on a great show, and I know on Tuesday I had the middle school choir concert, so I just kind of want to give a shout out to all of them. It was just really relaxing to go in and listen to a couple really fun songs too. They had one that was called The Argument, where they were arguing back and forth. That was pretty entertaining. But on that same night, we had soccer that became the District 2 champs. Fabulous. So looking forward to tomorrow as they head up towards Gull Lake. And then on that same night, girls volleyball became shared conference champs. So that was a busy night for both athletics and fine arts. And then, of course, this past weekend, the Marching Eddies taking second at the band competition at Jenison High School. So they will be moving on as well. So just an amazing job of a whole bunch of different Eddies, kind of across all different talents and strengths. So that was really fun last week. Not so fun is the boil water advisory, which I know you have seen, but I do want to say thank you to both Chris and Jody for responding really quickly so that we didn't have to shut down school on Wednesday for that half day. And we have water ordered that will be here tomorrow for not only all of your students, but then also for the staff members and for any parents coming to parent-teacher conferences as well too. So I know Chris has all of the custodial maintenance staff ready to cover drinking fountains, and they were on it. It was no big deal, which was awesome. And then the survey that was sent out in this my past community newsletter on Friday regarding just getting some grant input. It's one of our requirements with the 23G, which is the Michigan Back on Track for looking at students who aren't proficient in either reading or math. And then the 31AA, which is safety and mental health. We've already had over 120 responses to that already, providing some really good input. So that was great to have such quick and useful input. I know Carrie McGuire will really appreciate that as she's working on those grants. So that is pretty much all I have for tonight.
Excellent.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to subcommittee reports. We, the policy committee did meet, but since the notes weren't in our packets, I think we're just going to have them report out at the next
That was
board
just, there was a
meeting.
few
Yeah.
typos that we're working on correcting before they-
Moving on to comments and questions from the audience. This is a time for public comment. Please direct all your comments or questions to the board. I want to remind everybody that this is not a time for two-way communication with the board. If a response is warranted, the superintendent will do that before or at our next scheduled board meeting. Does anybody have questions or comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting is November 20th.
20th. Okay.